everybody, and a big welcome back to Executive Chef Michael Cipollo with Beer Markt. It's Markt, not Market. Everyone calls it the Beer Market.
It's Markt, it's Market, it's everything.
And what's on right now? You have got I'm going to mess this up. Okay, hang on. It is the Shellfish Festival cooking. You see that play on words?
Absolutely, and that's where we mentioned earlier the Schlupin Und Schmakken.
Schlupin Und Schmakken.
Schlupin Und Schmakken. Obviously, the Schlupin part is the oysters. And everybody who eats oysters knows that every oyster finishes with a good
slurp. And the schmacken is the lobster.
Well, the schmacken's everything.
We sound like Sean Connery all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's actually, that would be a good idea for a festival.
So when it comes to oysters, how do we go about picking the right one?
When it comes to oysters, it's really great to get a good relationship with your local fishmonger, your seafood supplier, specialist, what have you. Things you're looking for is oysters that are closed, that are tight. Obviously, certain times of year, I had one kicking around here. You don't want them to be loose or to be opening up at all.
They're bad?
Well, that signifies that the oysters probably had a little too much time outside of the beds. Sometimes, you know, when you're talking hundreds and hundreds of oysters, sometimes there's one that's not as alive.
Okay.
So we want fresh. Fresh is key here, and that's why it's very big. You know, Beer Market, we're bringing these things in 7 days a week. We build great relationships with our suppliers to make sure that we're getting the best that we can get.
And you have to be careful when opening them too. You could hurt yourself.
You could, but you know what? It's very easy, and that's the thing. Somebody once said that it was a brave man who ate the first oyster. It's very, very simple to do. They're all made with a little hinge right here, and you simply just put the knife in. I'll do this flat so you can see it easier. You stick your knife in there, and you just give it a little
And
pop.
that's a special tool you use too.
Yeah, this is an oyster knife, and then that's it.
Shucks. You shucked an oyster.
Ah, shucks.
And now here it is on a tower. And what do you use as garnishes? Always the ice, the lemon, and then I notice you have some dips,
Some different sauces, like a mignonette, which is a red wine vinaigrette with black pepper, is very classic.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, we got some right down here on the front. Also, we make a sweet yellow pepper, and we also make a spicy red pepper, fresh horseradish, Tabasco. Some people do like cocktail sauce, and some people just like to go, as we say, nude and just eat them raw, straight up.
How many would you say per person?
As many as you like, really. I guess it all depends what you've got planned for the rest of the day. They're very high in zinc. They're very high in iron.
Low fat, zinc, iron.
They're very high in zinc, and zinc is a building block for DNA. So really good for repairing the body and great for the vision as well.
So we've done the shuck. Now we do the slurp, and now we do the smack.
There's some Schlurp and Smack in this one.
Smack.
This is the great one here. This is a bouillabaisse. Everybody's probably heard about it, going back to the days of like Julia Child, where, you know, going there and saying, oh, we're going to make this. A bouillabaisse is a fisherman's stew, basically. Because we're doing a shellfish festival, we're doing the bouillabaisse strictly with shellfish, but you can use any types of fish you like in there. And the only thing that you really got to remember is just when to put the fish in. So some fish cooks very quick, some fish takes a little bit longer. You want everything to be ready at the same time. And it's great because it can be a one-pot meal. So we've started off here with a little bit of fennel.
Olive oil.
A little olive oil, a little bit of fennel. You can add a touch of garlic to that if you like.
And one thing I learned, Chef, is that with olive oil, you never cook it at a high heat because it breaks it down. You're supposed to cook things slowly, low to medium, correct?
Medium to medium high to initially get going. Olive oil is great because there's so many different varieties. Obviously, the more higher end olive oils are great just, you know, raw, finished.
Yeah.
So we get one
We're
pot
out
here.
of time.
Oh,
so you're putting in the shrimp, and what else goes in there?
You're putting in some shrimp. You're putting in a handful of mussels. You throw some lobsters. You throw some of those in there. Throw a handful of potatoes. You can throw some wine, some beer. You make your sauce ahead of time. Some tomato. This is the tomato and the fennel, and you just get that all in there.
And how long do you cook that up for?
You're going to simmer this until these mussels pop open, and that's about it. Then everything will be cooked through.
Perfect. Thanks, Chef. Enjoy all of the Schlurpin and Schmakken happening at the Shellfish Festival cooking at Beer Market. That's happening right now until June 26th. TheBeerMarkt.com. You'll see how it's spelled on your screen. It's not typical. Right now over to Jen at Live Eye. Not a typical backyard there either, Jen. Looks amazing. Thank you, Chef.
It really does look amazing. Thank you so much, Dina.